right, welcome on into the Ryan Ripken Show, and happy it is Tuesday, right, Zach?
It's Tuesday.
It's something, goodness gracious. Shirts and pants, if you're listening on the audio platforms later on, we're a good hour and a half behind schedule, so if you know me, that's right on time. But hey, welcome back in. Hope you guys had a fantastic weekend. It is the All-Star break right now, so limited action, but a lot still has transpired over the last few days. Well, one of those events was last night. We'll talk about the Home Run Derby, which I still think is the best all-star activity that's out there in professional sports. We'll talk about if the MLB All-Star Game is also the best all-star product out there as well. But then on Sunday, we saw the MLB draft kick off. I did a video the other day on YouTube, just yesterday, actually, talking about, well, the Orioles made some picks, and I know some people didn't really like that two catchers went early. We'll dissect all of that, and there were some other surprises throughout the MLB draft as we now move into what will be the second half of the season. Let's see what else we're going to talk about. Fox had a huge switch up just from a sports media standpoint. We have our own kind of first half winners in baseball. Am I missing anything else, Zach?
No, I think we're I think that pretty much sums it up.
That pretty much sums it up. And we'll get into a little bit of the delays here. But overall, we're happy to see you guys. And as you know, hit that like and subscribe button on the way in. It means a lot to the channel, helps us push out to reach good people that we've already met. And we appreciate each and every one of you. And we also, though, are on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and obviously on YouTube. So, guys, appreciate you. So, you guys saw him. You heard him. Zach Bollinger, Bali. How we doing overall besides?
Doing what? Good to be back in studio. It's been, it was a week. But still, good to be back in studio.
Is that the longest time you've been away from the studio here?
Yeah, probably besides going to spring training or, obviously down to New Orleans.
Oh, you know what? After this whole setup, I could use a grenade.
We could have used a hand grenade during that, and that would have made it a lot smoother. That's for sure. But yeah, great to be back. Home Run Derby, if you could focus on where the ball was actually going in the 900 video cuts that ESPN gave you. Another fun Home Run Derby. Yeah, we'll get into it about all of that with the Home Run Derby, the All-Star Game. Some Rob Manfred making maybe some interesting
comments.
Yeah. Well, could we be seeing salary cap in Major League Baseball soon?
And we did talk about that the other week. Yeah. Also, by the way, the Orioles did finish up, and we didn't have a chance to talk about Kyle Stowers' revenge tour.
Oh, yeah.
Which I know all fans are happy about that. But a guy that's actually joining us in, so you saw Bali. You hear my voice, you see my beautiful face with these Invisalign in, by the way. Do I look good, Zach?
Fantastic.
See, I paid you to say that. But making his show debut with us, he's a Baltimore guy. You might recognize the Barstool Baltimore channel. Mr. Nate. Nate.
How you doing? How's it going?
Yeah. You afraid over there? You're by yourself on an island.
Well, I've never been on a podcast before.
Oh.
I've also never shown my face as Barstool Baltimore online before.
Whoa.
You guys are seeing it here first. I have never revealed myself to the public, or actually just on social media who I am. And I run the Barstool Baltimore page. I also run the Barstool DMV page. And then I run the Barstool Loyola page for my college as well.
Go Hounds, baby.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Go Hounds.
Go Hounds, Zach.
Go Hounds.
Go Hounds. And go Gilman Greyhounds as well.
Yeah.
See, Zach, we're all on board here. But Nate, welcome on in. Hey,
thanks,
dude,
man.
We keep it easy here. Honestly, this is what we do. We like to hang out. We have guests that either call in, but no guests, just you. Just you today.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And Nate got to see the whole situation that unfolded to us, being like, okay, so let's just get this out of the way.
They got to see the classic matchup of the Ryan Ripken Show.
Yeah, dude, I've never ever been in a podcast studio before, so I don't even understand what's going on. You guys had all these wires going out. When I walked in here, and I'm like, dude, what is this? Like, what is happening right now?
That's kind of what we were saying too as it was going on. So.
Yeah. The crazy thing is, with any other computer, I've had no issues with setting this up.
We
Brad comes in here. Brad, it just voila, it's fixed. But then we would get a few F-bombs. What are you guys doing? Which, like, rightfully, we understand. I just can't figure out the spaceship that is the desktop that we have, but we have it all rocking and rolling. And you guys hopefully can hear us loud and clear. And if you can, give us a little woof in the chat. But speaking of woof, though, Zach, maybe we'll rip the Band-Aid off for the woof if you're a Baltimore Orioles fan. Kyle Stowers made it. You know what? Shout out Kyle Stowers. He made sure that everyone knew that he can hit the baseball a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And someone asked me, or it was 105.7, got asked on the radio show with Bob Haney. It was buy or sell that Kyle Stowers goes deep in Baltimore. And I said, I think he's going to go deep at least twice. Now, I thought it'd be over the series, right? Over the course of games. Zach, it was in one game. He had 5 hits in one game. He had a career day against the team that he started his career with. And the Orioles, after winning game 1 of the series, Trevor Rogers had a solid outing in game 2. Whammy, they drop the last 2 in the series going to the All-Star break. Not feeling as great about the situation. But I just want to touch on that for Stowie, and I think it's a real thing. You play your former team. Stowie loves the O's. He loves the guys. There's no animosity. But when you get to face your former team, yeah, you make it a little bit of a point to remind them of what they could have had if they had held on to you. But Trevor Rogers has looked good. This has nothing to do with the trade itself. It's more so of playing your former team. That revenge game, Zach, it's a real thing.
Yeah, I mean, let's go what it is. No one had an issue with the trade anymore when Trevor Rogers was going out there and shoving. Kyle Stowers, I'll say it. He went yard the first time, and I was like, okay. He got it out of the way. 1-0 solo shot. Get it out of the way. Then he hits the 2-run bomb, and then you're like, oh, shit. All right. Okay. And I literally tweeted out, I was like, you can stop now, Kyle. Then he proceeds to hit the 3rd one. And at that point, game's out of hand. Like, the game was over. I think that made it, 7-0? Yeah. I love the Orioles. I absolutely love the Orioles. Obviously, I wish them nothing but the best. I would be lying to you if I said when he got up the next time, if I wasn't like, if you're going to do it, do it. Like, hit the 4th. Like, as someone, and we've talked about it. We've had Kyle Stowers on the show multiple times. One of the nicest, just most down-to-earth guys, easiest guy to root for in the entire world. So when he was having that kind of game, you knew the Orioles weren't winning. I'm not rooting for him to go yard against the Orioles in a tied game. Game was over, and I was like, if he's going to hit 4 home runs in this game, just let it happen. I was like, just do it, Stowers. At this point, you might as well. Happy for him. I still think I'm not changing my opinion on the trade because Kyle Stowers had a 3-run homer game against us. I think we've said it probably this whole season. It seems like a win-win for both teams. Orioles got what looks like a very nice pitcher who's finding his stride, and the Marlins were able to help Kyle Stowers. They get him, they get Norby, and also the people. Trevor Rogers is a winner. Kyle Stowers is a winner because they went to places. We've talked about it. That's a fresh start. And when you get a fresh start somewhere, sometimes that's all you need mentally to get back on the horse, to find out that potential and really reach that level. So I'm super happy for Kyle Stowers. I know Oriole fans aren't happy that I went yard 3 times against you, but at the end of the day, from the person, I was ecstatic for Kyle Stowers, for him to have it, because it felt good.
Oh, damn right it felt good. The one thing I want people to understand with this trade, by the way, for everyone that said, for Mike Elias in this front office, man, they were going to ruin Stowers. And, well, why I think that's harsh, the reality was they didn't prioritize him. So what happened? They prioritized other outfielders. Colton Cowser was one of those guys. Heston Kjerstad was another one of those guys. And whether it was fair or not, the way they did it, which, again, that's the person's perspective. Yeah, you got to make a choice. And they made a choice that right now looks like Kyle Stowers can be a really damn good player for the Marlins for years to come. But every team has to make this choice. Every team has to make this choice. And they're not always going to get it always right. And one other thing that I want to point out for all the ones that want to get on and say with Elias, the Marlins were trading for a guy willing to give him every opportunity, regardless if they won or they lost. And the reason why I bring that up, Nate, I'll add you to this conversation.
Yep.
Over or under?
Yep.
Kyle Stowers went to Miami and played 51 games last year. Okay?
Yeah.
Do you think he hit above or below 200?
I'm going to say he went below.
You're a smart man, Nate.
I was right.
You were right.
Okay.
So, Kyle Stowers in 51 games with the Marlins after being traded,
right,
hit a $186.
Oh, wow.
$186. Okay. And then he had an awful spring training where he didn't even know if he was going to make the team.
Oh, wow.
And they said, hey, we're going to hang with you. And whammy, Kyle gets the game-winning hit, on opening day. He starts to get rolling, and the rest was kind of history. But he was on a team that had zero expectations. And whether that's fair or not, I think that is a huge reason why Kyle Stowers is where he is. So I don't want people to sit here and go, well, yeah, the Orioles, they might have made the wrong choice in the long run.
Yeah.
But they also allowed a player that was going to go to a place where he'd have all the availability to go out there and learn. Because Kyle Stowers, Zach, was 1 for 30 in his at-bats with the Orioles, I think. Was it last year? 2 years ago?
2 years ago.
1 for 30. And everyone that saw Kyle Stowers, there was a lot of negative comments. So for all the ones that love him now, don't forget that most of you might have been on the other side of that with Stowie in the past. So it is what it is. It's water under the bridge. The Orioles go into the break with a lot more questions than answers, and a lot of the questions are going to be around the trade deadline, which is right around the corner.
Ooh,
we're finally here. Nate, have you really experienced the trade deadline time?
No, I haven't.
It gets a little crazy.
Yeah.
Last year our trade deadline stream was Ryan was getting inside information, not sharing with the class, which was one thing, but then it got a little chaotic with a few trades, and I feel like honestly we spend all year talking about, hey, just wait for the trade deadline. Wait for the trade deadline. Wait for July to figure out what you're doing. Well, it was, it started in March. It was, hey, wait till you get to June. April, wait till you get to June. May, wait till you get to June. And then June, it's okay, where are you? And the entire time everyone's sitting there. And I mean, hell, Ryan, it's like the third game of the year and people are like, okay, you need to trade for a starting pitcher. Hey, when are the Orioles trading for a starting pitcher? When are the Orioles getting rid of these guys? When are this team trading for that? We're here. It's finally time. You see Brian Baker kind of the first quote unquote domino to fall, but it's time. I think after we get back from break, starting whether it's Friday, starting next week, this is finally the time of year where at any moment, we are on hug watch in every single game. Every single game. If someone leaves early, we've already started seeing it. Maybe a guy's injured, but he just has to leave early, tweak something, has to leave early. What immediately happens? Everyone on the internet, why did he leave? Oh, he was in a trade. A guy gets scratched from the lineup in the minor leagues. Oh, he's traded. Guy probably just needed a day off. Oh, he's gone. And it's finally time for all the speculations. We are entering a 2-week period, a little over 2 weeks, where everything anyone does is under a microscope, because at any moment they feel like guys are getting traded. You think Ryan O'Hearn gets scratched from a game against the Orioles? Maybe he woke up, maybe the back was a little sore and he's like, I can't go today. He gets scratched. Everyone immediately, oh, well, thanks for everything, Ryan O'Hearn. It's
everyone goes to their phones. They're looking for where's the connection? Where's the rumor? When is the news dropping? And look, this is actually a perfect segue into all this. So the first half, which it's been more than the first half, but the All-Star game is here now. But all these trade rumors didn't stop when they went to the All-Star game. Hell, Zach, 2 names that at least we saw clips on. Just talked about Ryan O'Hearn. How about Stowers out there with the Diamondbacks? You're there. You're representing your team. It's a great moment. Smile. I've been waiting for this moment my whole life. Hey, Stowers, do we have that clip, Zach? about it. So let's play. How about this? Suarez, enjoy your time being an all-star. How'd you feel if you were a Yankee? If you think I'm joking, actually, that was a question that was asked to Suarez earlier this week. So, Zach, let's play that clip.
Years with you traded to the Yankees. How would you feel about a trade to a contender with maybe a better playoff chance in this time?
I mean, Yankees is Yankees. I feel like it's a team who want to win. They had the test from last year, but they're hungry still. If I go over there, like I said, I will do my best over there, try to help them win the World Series.
What an awkward thing to just ask there.
Well, and also for him, he's saying like, if I went there, Yankees, I would help them win. And usually guys are like, I'm not going to really think about that. We'll just see what happens. Yeah. When you play for another team, and I know like Nate, like just so you understand, and being in a locker room, it's all like people always know.
Yeah.
So like at the end of my career, I was up in AAA and even in AA, and around the trade deadline, and you're around some like big prospects. Now the Orioles, at least for my case, they weren't as good the last couple of years.
Yeah.
But with that being said, we had the other stake of we knew big leaguers were getting traded. Who's going to come and take our spot in the minors?
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
In this case, people are wondering who's going to be a prospect that could be shipped off. Who's going to leave AA or AAA and go somewhere else for one of these guys? So like people have the conversation, but out loud, and this is what the point, Zach, like I haven't heard someone say like, yeah, if the Yankees were to trade for me, I'll help them win. I feel like it usually is just like, yeah, we're just not going to talk about that. Like Ryan O'Hearn, I think his clip was, yeah, we're going to try to miraculously, I think he actually might have said the word miraculously, get back into it. But he still just said, I'm not going to worry about that right now. Is it weird? Like
it's weird. No, it's weird. And I
felt like it just felt
well, okay. I will say, and it's got to be like, let's talk about it in this sense as well. Both Suarez and O'Hearn, if you would have told them at the beginning of the season, hey, what are your thoughts on getting traded? They would have looked at you and laughed and been like, traded? We're competing for a World Series. We're trying to win it. These are two guys that are having incredible seasons for teams that they genuinely, people thought that they would be in the hunt. Arizona, before, injuries and everything, they were a team. They're a year and a half, 2 years removed from going to the World Series. I mean, yes, it was an incredible run. I'm not going to say they were the best team, the most dominant team that season. They got hot at the right time. But this is a team that was supposed to win. Yeah, they're in the daunted NL West. Yeah, Dodgers, the Giants, the Padres, they had to compete with them. But they were up there with them. Like people didn't scoff at the Diamondbacks. This is a team that was supposed to win. So you go from thinking you're going to help them compete for a World Series. You're having a great year. And now you're at the All-Star game. I haven't looked up how many All-Star games has Suarez been to? Eugenio Suarez.
I got to look that up right now. I was trying to look up some recent trade news. And also because we're using the different laptop, this little puppy here is moving at about I don't know. It takes about 15 seconds for it to load one thing.
Yeah. But real fast. So it's his second All-Star game. He's a two-time All-Star. So second time you're ever at the All-Star game. This is something that you want to do in your career. And instead of being asked about how great of a season you're having, this, and this, it's, hey, do you feel like you can help it's not the questions of congrats on the great season. It's, hey, what do you think of continuing this season with the Yankees or with this team? And that's so hard for these guys' breaks still. Like this is still the break when they're supposed to be getting away from this. Now, obviously the All-Stars are going to be doing their own thing, but it does kind of suck for them that this, big achievement is now, they're not getting asked about being an All-Star. They're getting asked about, hey, how do you think about playing for this team? What about this team? What about this team? And it's like, it puts them in an awkward situation because as you said, Ryan, everyone knows, but you don't have to say the silent part out loud sometimes.
Yeah, you don't. But people have to do their jobs, and there's a lot of reports that are floating out there. And hell, if there wasn't the MLB draft that just happened, I think that we would have had a lot more conversations about who could be or won't be on the move here, So we'll see what happens. But the festivities got off to a good start. And I mean, Nate, recently, by the way, I mean, actually, well, Nate and I I saw Nate recently, specifically saw him on Saturday. We were cruising.
Yeah.
Me
and him went on a boat. We went on a boat ride.
Yeah. I was going to say, other than that, how many you've been down? Well, actually, I did see you down at the yard about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I was at Camden Yards a couple weeks ago. Usually when I have the free time and have enough money to spend, I'll go down to Camden Yards. It's not far from my house.
Yeah. Are you a Bro Hearn fan?
Yeah, I like him.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Yeah, I like Ryan O'Hearn.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, no, go. I mean, if you had to put your crystal ball on, Nate, I'll throw it to you.
Yeah.
You think they sell?
I think that if the season goes, if they're 10 games under 500 when the season is over, I think there's a good chance that the Orioles will sell. But if they're under 10, I would say if they're like 5 games, 6 games, I think that they're going to work this offseason to figure it out. And they're going to go back into the 2026 season stronger than before. But I don't think they're going to sell.
Mm-hmm. And this is where the question is going to be. And we want to reiterate this, that when the Orioles, I think that they're going to make moves, but the word between rebuild and retool. That's my biggest thing. Rebuild, retool. Big difference. I was seeing some reports that the Orioles would make some pitchers available, maybe not all of them. I've also seen other reports that definitely Ryan O'Hearn is available, but what's going to be the price of a guy like that? And what do you want to do and what do you want to give up? And Zach, I go back and forth with this all the time because Ryan O'Hearn, we're like the same person. Our name's Ryan. We had the same birthday. I was not an all-star, but he was, so many similarities here, but we both love Baltimore. That's probably the biggest similarity that we actually have.
Well, I think
he wants to be here.
Yeah, I mean, you can't question that. Every post-game conference he does, every little thing he does, with the media, he has made it clear. He wants to win, and he wants to win in Baltimore. And he's talked about, you said that when he was asked about it, talking about, hey, I hope we can get back in it. Hell, after post games, they've had him on Masson, and it's like, hey, you guys are putting some things together, and he just straight up says, hey, I want to be here. Like, why can't we put pressure on Elias? Why can't we put pressure on the front office to go out there and make it hard to sell? Make it hard to be like, okay, let's get rid of these guys. Let's not compete. Now, obviously, let's be real. If you would have swept the Marlins, now sweeping a team is not easy. Marlins are also playing some damn good ball recently. I think they're over 500 in their past 25, 30 games.
And so hot on the road.
Yeah. So you get that aspect in it. But overall, if you would have won those final 2 games compared to losing them, that's the difference between 5 under and 9 under. If you would have won those final 2 games and you just sit there and you are currently at the All-Star break 5 games under 500, we're having a conversation. I think we genuinely are having that conversation of, do the Orioles stand pat? Do they kind of go for it? I don't think they would ever buy for this season. Meaning, I don't think they go after rentals. I think if the value's there for a guy with multiple years, I think that happens. But I don't think they'd be in line for rentals. But I think if they were 5 games under currently, and by the deadline they could get to that 2-3 games, 1 game under, sit right at 500, that puts pressure on. But even if you open up, you think about it, you win your first 7 games, that would be the 2 series against Tampa and Cleveland. If you go on a 7-0 start, you're still 2 games under. So it's getting harder to fight back into position. And let's just be real. It's July 15th. We're not on May 15th anymore. You're not in April 15th. It's not, you're 9 games back in April or May and you got 100 games left. We're less than 60. I think we're 67 games left. So time's ticking.
Yeah, time is ticking away here for the Orioles, for teams in general. It's going to be a seller's market because why? If you look around at the rest of the American League, besides the AL East, who's all over 500, by the way, it would all be represented in the postseason, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, the only one that wouldn't be would be the Rays. The Yankees and the Red Sox would have 2 of the spots. The Mariners would have the other one.
Yeah, because the Rays just are.
They're struggling right now.
What's happening in Tampa?
Hey, losers of 8 of their last 10. They're going through their skid, but the Red Sox just put off a bender of 10 in a row. They're 8 games over 500. Now their whole outlook looks different after Devers. You got to do what you got to do, but to your point, you win the series, Zach, going into the break, you're feeling a whole lot damn better about where you are. And I think fans, if there's one consolation, is that you would think that they'd feel better about some of the players that the Orioles got in this year's draft, but maybe because the team hasn't been playing well, that there's some emotions that go about that. But before we get into all of that, hit that like and subscribe button. Ryan Ripken Show. Do this live every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, right here on YouTube, X, and Facebook. And this episode is always brought to you by our friends over at Merit Clubs, which Zach and Nate, you guys saw this on the Insta stories. Your boy was doing some kickboxing this morning. There's a full video that's coming out. I can't say that my form was great, but I think it was pretty good. Have either of you guys kickboxed, Nate? You look like a kickboxer.
No, I've never kickboxed.
No, never?
No, I've never kickboxed before. I think I need to be a little bit taller. People tell me all the time how tall I am, but I think that's one of those things you have to be tall for.
Yeah, dude, it was crazy. Nate and I took a photo, Zach,
yeah,
on the boat, and like the height.
We were right on.
Right
like
there.
They had to move the camera, and we were both on the same angle, you know.
Yeah, we're like, hey, sorry, the lighting's actually a little bit off. Can we?
Right.
I actually asked because he looked a little bit taller than me. I'm like, well, can we try to even this out?
Yeah, I was like hovering over his head just a little bit, you know. People tell me all the time how tall I am. I'm sure Ryan gets it too. We hover over everyone together. So
that's what we do. That's what we do. We're like the same person.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The exact same. Just like Kevin and Zach are like the same person.
Yeah.
And Rocco. Well, just kidding. No one is like Rocco, but you guys can check that out with Merit Clubs, and pools are open. We did a show there last week. We got more shows upcoming there. But check out meritclubs.com for more. If you're interested in a day pass, holler at us. Can definitely help with that. And stay tuned what we got moving forward as we head into the fall with Merit Clubs. So let's move into this draft conversation though, Zach, because I saw this with Sam about, is Elias allergic to pitchers? Well, it's been an interesting conversation. So the video I put out yesterday was to try to bring awareness to why the Orioles didn't go pitchers early. So if you missed that yesterday, one, go back and watch it and hit that like button, and then subscribe to it if you haven't. But Mike Elias, the philosophy for the Orioles and a lot of teams is don't take a risk on pitchers in the first round or early. For Mike Elias's case, he was with the Houston Astros when they made 2 pitching decisions, early selections. Brady Aiken and Mark Appel was 2 of the names. And Keith Law, when we had him on, draft expert, has been talking about prospects for years, almost 25 to be exact. And he said, yeah, Mike got burned by that he doesn't want to go back to that well. And you know what? I don't blame him if you don't want to go back to the well for that reason. But how about because so many teams, not just Mike Elias, believe that pitchers are more of that ticking time bomb of getting hurt. It's not an if, it's a when. And if you don't believe me, go look at the first 40 picks from Sunday. There was 40 picks and only 10 pitchers were selected in the top 40. So to point that part out, this was not a Mike Elias decision there. But also, Zach, they did spend draft capital in rounds 2 and the comp pick. So they got Jurwa and Quinn, so they were using top 3 value to get it, but they didn't want to spend that earlier on. And according to a lot of people, Ike Irish was considered the best college bat. He falls. You get the best defensive catcher in Bodine, and then you get the Golden Spikes Award winner in Uloy that falls in your lap at 31. That's a lot of talent that you're adding to a pool of I guess the depth is not as strong as it once was because so many players have graduated over the last couple of years.
I mean, like when you look at, obviously I'm going back to your original comment, Mark Appel, Brady Aiken, both 2013, 2014 with the Astros, number 1 overall pick. So number 1 overall pick doesn't pan out. that leaves a bad taste in your mouth, especially when the other guys you took at number one were, okay, I guess one, and then number two was a guy named Carlos Correa and then Alex Bregman. So he's had more success when he was with the Astros selecting position players. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that we've talked to Jeff Passan, we've talked to Tim Kirchin, we've talked to all these baseball writers, all these reporters, and they always talk about, even Keith Law and the prospect guys, it's almost guaranteed a guy's going to get hurt. You know, with the way that baseball is working, the way that these arm injuries are going, it's not an if, it's when are you going to get some sort of surgery, whether it's Tommy John, whether it's lat, whether it's whatever. Something is most likely going to go wrong. So there is that risk. So I don't think they like that risk in there. But let's look at it. Maybe even if, you know, let's say that they were considering a pitcher. Like, let's just say they were. It's the way the board fell. As you said, Ike Irish considered one of the best college bats, maybe even in the draft. If he's there at 19, I was looking at mock drafts. He was in Keith Law's or Kylie McDaniels. Kylie McDaniels had him going 9 in his final mock draft. This was value. And that's why I'm not worried about the whole, but they drafted 2, you know, quote unquote catchers, even though I think Ike Irish does both. It was the best players out there. You got consensus, the best college bat, the best catcher in the draft. And then, like you said, pick 31, the Golden Spikes winner. So the quote unquote Heisman, if this was football. So that's value. That is when you look at your draft board, and I don't agree with going for need and a draft. Like, I'm not looking at the major league roster and saying, we have to get a pitcher right now. We have to get a right fielder. It's how can we get the best players that are going to develop? And if in 2 years we don't have room for them, okay, Adley turns it around. He's hitting 300 again. Sam Basayo's doing his thing. And then Bodine and Ike Irish are both catchers, both coming up together, and they're both top 100 prospects. You can then make the move to give those guys up for something of value to help your team. I think in baseball specifically, in the NFL draft, I get it. These guys, especially in the first round, are coming in that year and they need to produce. NBA, same thing mostly. If you got a top pick, they got to come in and produce. We're not seeing the number 1 pick from this draft, It's probably for 3 years. You know, and that's probably producing at a high level for the Nationals, if it all works out, 4 to 5 years. So now you're sitting there and it's like, why? We don't know if shortstop's going to be our position in need in 5 years. You know, we don't know if catcher for the Orioles in 3 years is going to be a big open hole or if it's not. So I think at this point, it's all about talent. It's where can you get the most talent? The Orioles did end up drafting, I think, more pitchers than position players, or it was close.
Eight pitchers in the top 12 rounds.
Yeah.
So they took arms, and to the whole point of this, it's philosophy. Now, I'll be honest, like Paul Skeens was available. You have number 1 overall pick a few years ago. Well, I hope that you're taking Paul Skeens. Dude's a beast. Like, it's undeniable. But I would argue Paul Skeens was the best player available in that draft. And that is what you have to look at. I mean, hell, since you just talked about football, Zach, about best player available. Hey, Nate, do you know a team that possibly likes that philosophy of taking best player available in football in Baltimore?
What do you mean?
So in football, in the NFL,
yeah.
there's a team in Baltimore that likes to live by the strategy of best player available. You know what I'm talking about now?
No, I don't think I have any idea.
Never.
I have no idea what you're talking about, man.
Yeah, but so right, like the point of it is, go back just a few years ago.
Yeah.
The Ravens, what was it, the 14th pick? Zach, does that sound about right?
Yeah, it was 14.
14th. And they already had 2 very qualified starting safeties. But who was a safety that was sitting there at a Notre Dame, Nate?
Well,
Pop quiz.
What year?
No, who was the safety that was sitting there out of Notre Dame that the Ravens scooped up? Now he's just a star. Putting you on the spot. You know this.
From Notre Dame.
From Notre Dame.
Safety.
He's kind of a Swiss Army knife for the Ravens on defense. I know I'm putting you on the spot with all the bright lights.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't really know who from Notre Dame is on the team.
Well,
that's my problem.
Oh, you're going to learn right now. Kyle Hamilton.
Kyle Hamilton's from Notre Dame?
Notre Dame.
I'm sorry, but
you
I
know,
didn't know
we're going to
that.
have to put you through. Hey, if you're going to be here in Baltimore, we're going to have to put you through. We're going to have to list off every single name of every single player. I'm just kidding. I don't really know where everyone went. I know where Nick Moore went. He went to the University of Georgia. But the point of this is, at the time, the Ravens had no plan for what the situation would be because they had good safeties. Now, they made some moves after. But, Zach, think about where the corner or safety room was then to where it is now. And if you didn't take Kyle Hamilton, what you would have missed out on.
Right.
So that's the point of what you're looking at the draft. Take the talent.
Right.
Figure out the issue later.
Well, I think, Kyle Hamilton's one of the best safeties in the league. Hands down.
And it's one of those things where going into the draft, he ran a slow 40 time. Like, that's what kept him from being – there were people who thought he was a top 3 player. He was ranked as actually the number 1 player by most people, but it was, where do you put a box safety? Where do you put the Swiss Army knife guy if he doesn't fit your immediate needs? So Kyle Hamilton falls to 14. The Ravens have straight up said it wasn't we're planning on trading up for Kyle Hamilton. Oh, we're planning on doing X, Y, Z. Eric DeCosta said, sometimes players fall, and you're like, we would be stupid not to. If Kyle Hamilton's there at 14, you have Chuck Clark. Like, yes. Okay, Chuck Clark at the time was producing it. Yeah, he was the green dot. He was the guy calling the plays. So it's hard to be like, okay, we can draft this rookie at 14 to take our guy who's running the defense's spot, and obviously it creates some animosity there. But the Ravens saw into the future of, hey, this is a guy who has special talent. Maybe it's not immediate need. It's not right now we need a safety. But when you have a guy who you look at and you're like, he is by far the best player on this board, better than anyone else that we have listed, why wouldn't you take him? If Ike Irish is sitting there, and this is where I'll go with it, the Orioles may not have thought they were drafting Ike Irish until the 19th pick. The Orioles may have thought Ike Irish was a top 10 player. They might have had him in, the top 8, top 9, whatever. And then all of a sudden he gets to them and he's rated 8th, and the next guy on their board is rated 17 or something. Why wouldn't you take the guy that's rated 8th best in your draft? I don't think they went in going, Ike Irish is our guy. I don't know if they thought if he would fall. But when he was there at 19, I think they looked at everything and they were like, hey, this is our best player. And, we've talked about Elias and DeCosta talk about draft stuff. And I'm sure they've talked about that of, hey, sometimes it doesn't matter what you need. It's the best player falls to you. You have to take him because someone else is going to make that pick and you're going to sit there and regret, if the Ravens would have sat there at 14 and taken someone else, and then all of a sudden 3 picks later, someone else takes Kyle Hamilton, we'd be sitting here right now with the what if game of, what if the Ravens would have just taken Kyle Hamilton?
You have to trust your scouts. You have to trust your work that you put in. And for everyone that's upset with everything of saying, hey, the Orioles don't find a way to develop guys in the big leagues and all of that, it's a whole different conversation of when you got to get rid of prospects, trade for talent, or whatever you want to say. It's a whole different conversation. But identifying talent, you cannot deny what Mike Elias has done with identifying players. You could say, early in the draft, Jackson Holliday wasn't a consensus 1-1 pick. They took him. The other guy that was in consideration to actually be more of the consensus number 1 pick was Drew Jones. And he's been ravaged with injuries and has really struggled in his professional career. So Colton Cowser wasn't maybe viewed as being a top 5 pick. Well, guess what? Colton Cowser looks like an all-star caliber type of guy. Jordan Westberg at the end of the first round or going to the comp round, right? They've done very well. It's a separate conversation. So I love the talent that the Orioles had. And to be honest, you're not going to know enough about what's going to transpire until we're a year, 2, 3, hell, even 4 years down the road to see where these guys end up. And maybe some of them will be down in Atlanta or wherever the All-Star game. Sorry. Well, like Atlanta this year with Ryan O'Hearn, but they'll be representing the Baltimore Orioles at a different time. So we'll see.
Also, real fast, I mean, how many times I put this out, and I actually put it more as a joke tweet, and a lot of analysts actually quoted it saying that I was right, which guess tip of my cap to myself.
Zach
Proud of
knows
myself,
ball.
you know. I literally listed the Orioles top 7 picks, and I was like, my draft grades may pan out, may not. And that's what it is. In baseball specifically, you're taking draft lottery tickets in the draft. Like it's a lottery ticket. You hope, let's be honest, of the 7 picks that they took in the top 100, it is an incredible draft if 2 to 3 contribute on the major league roster or are involved in some sort of trade that helps contribute to the major league roster. It's not football where your first 3 picks have to be, producing year 1 or all this stuff. Like your top 100 picks, you get 7 of them. You're just hoping that 2 or 3 help. And that's what it was. That's why I think they made the trade with Tampa like that, because they got another dart that they could throw off the board and hope it hits.
Yeah, young outfielder, apparently music producer too.
Lil Slay?
Slay?
Oh my God.
Lil Slay?
They got to take him from Vanderbilt. That needs to happen. I need Lil Slay.
Sure. I mean, that might be the theme music for us then moving forward. I got to listen to Lil Slay when we get off here. But talented player added. Certainly a guy that's not going to help the team in the next 2 years, but maybe in the next 4 or 5. Talented guy. That's how the draft works. And just like everything else, the one difference I'll say with football and baseball or even basketball is like when you're drafted in the first round, like they kind of expect you to help right now because you're going into the league. Baseball, they're sending you to the minors. Nate, we haven't known each other long enough for you to hear the minor league stories.
No, I don't know.
They all involve buses.
And they all involve buses.
Okay.
But when you get drafted, you're going to work your way up to get to the big leagues.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, hell, here is a humbling story, at least I have. It's not even humbling, it's just more of a fact. I played with 2 teammates, okay, with the Nationals organization.
Yeah.
They were the Big Ten and ACC players of the year. So they were the top hitters and players in that conference. And they got the Pro Bowl, and neither of them got above low A, and neither of them could hit above 200.
Yeah.
And they were the best player in that conference, 2 Power 5 conferences.
Right.
Talk about the lottery. You can have an idea, and you hope it pans out. Reality is you just don't know.
Well, I feel like professional sports, like in general, is just such a different game than college or the minor leagues. Like it's just so much different.
Well, so like the minors, because like I tell people this, there's some guys in the minors when they get drafted. So like all these guys we just talked about, you hope they run through the system. The most talented guys sometimes don't even make it to the bigs because it's a mental game. It's all people underplay the mental side of it. And I actually wish I had that clip ready for today, Zach, because speaking of a guy that had to deal with the mental side, Ryan O'Hearn sat 18 days on the bench in Kansas City after they gave him some run. It wasn't working out for a couple of years. And they're like, we don't really value you as much, or we don't think that you're that player that we were hoping you'd be. So they didn't play him for 17 or 18 days. Yeah. And Ryan O'Hearn got DFA'd, then traded to the Orioles for cash considerations, goes to AAA, gets called up, and then the rest has been history ever since. But it was a guy that felt like he was out of MLB or felt like he was losing his chance. And it really was more mental than it was physical. Physically, he had the talent, but mentally he wasn't putting it together enough in the right moments there. So we could talk about that for a ton of times. If you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. Ryan Ripken Show. We do this live every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, right here on YouTube, X, and Facebook. And I'm actually seeing Cassandra from Facebook. Some of the minor league stories are the best. So many memories along that journey. I'll tell you what.
All on the bus.
All on the bus. Darren O'Day is the story we're going to release today. You guys saw when we had Darren O'Day on.
That story is
Bussy.
Bussy is
Bussy had some problems.
Yes, he did. I was you will be very caught off guard with how Darren O'Day doesn't hide anything. He's just like, yeah, this happened. And you're like, oh, okay. So everything always happens on the bus. And yeah, I'm not going to spoil anything. You guys just got to wait and see. It was a very interesting story.
Oh, yeah. Well, it also goes to show you meet characters. Now, they changed it up here in the setup in the minor leagues because you had to reach certain qualifications for your standard of the stadiums, how much food was going to be required, all of this. I actually still was in the time where it was better than it was before, but we still had a lot of those moments. And I have a fair share of my bus stories, have a fair share of being on the road and things going wrong, had a fair share of feeling like I'm sleeping on a rock when we traveled 12, 13 hours to play a doubleheader just to get our ass kicked. Oh, gosh. I mean, one of those, I had shit coming out of the damn shower in a stadium. That is a true story.
Yeah. Don't you love it?
Don't you love it? Builds
the
character.
Minor leagues. I see Java saying a little slight. This is going to be the biggest development. Is one, I love the idea of. I actually have heard maybe don't listen to his music. It's not the best, but I think
he's young.
Yeah, exactly.
He's young.
Exactly.
Just like his baseball skills, he's going to have to continue to grow. That's like what we're doing here. We're trying to continue to get better, figure it out, shoot the shit, and have fun while we're at it here. And I guess since we're having fun, Zach, we're having a good time. And I'm sure you tried to have some fun, maybe won some bets, maybe things worked in your favor yesterday. But why don't we take a quick trip up to our friends at Hollywood Casino at Charlestown Races in West Virginia. Yeah, we could have used a little better effort. That was, you know what? If I'm rating us on a scale, it's probably a D-.
We tried. You know what? It's the first one back in studio, so I'm going to give us
reps.
We need more reps. Can't get reps on the bench. It doesn't matter. You need game reps.
Yeah. Well, I'll leave this to you. So we were up at Hollywood Casino a couple weeks ago with the event with Ryan Zimmerman up there at the ESPN Bet area up in Charlestown Races. Had a great time. What else then happened? Yeah, we took our celebratory tequila shots like we always do. We only had one loss on the day as we went just one chance at roulette. Didn't work in our favor. Some could say that, it just wasn't the right bounce, but I digress. But our friends up at Hollywood Casino, Charlestown Races, they've been great to us. But Zach, the question is not whether they've been great to us. Were your bets great to you? I'm sure you had something in there yesterday with the Derby.
I did. And guess who it was? Junior Caminero.
Had Junior.
Yeah. At plus with the boost at plus 1,600 to win the Derby. He was, I thought it was, and then when he got, I'm not going to lie, he, after his timeout in the finals, he had like 3 straight homers, and I stood up. I was like, it's now or never, Junior. It's now or never. It was never. It was never. Just tough, but still proud of him. That's why I'm calling it #Inchgate, because I think Cal Raleigh, one, this all could have been avoided because I had bets on 2 people. The other was Matt Olson, because I was like, you know what, Atlanta guy. Matt Olson should have, people are forgetting, they're talking about the Brent Rooker and Cal Raleigh. Matt Olson had 15 homers with time left plus bonus round. All he needed to do was get to 17 or 8. If he gets to 18, neither advance.
Neither.
And he couldn't get it done. Falls, I think, 1 short. But yeah, Matt Olson, I thought if he would have made it, I think it would have been a fun finals. But tonight, I'm going with all reliable. The American League has won 9 of the last 10 All-Star games. Why do we not make it 10 of the last 11? We're talking about get hot, stay hot. The American League. I'm loving it. As my American League manager, Aaron Boone, would say, it's all right in front of us. It's right in front of us.
You've been waiting to say that as my manager for this exact moment. But hey, the AL has dominated. But maybe one of the stars in the National League will kind of change that. I don't know. But I do love the All-Star festivities. I think the All-Star game for baseball is the best out there right now, personally. And we'll get into a deeper conversation there in just a moment. But let's wrap up the home run derby with you. I'm sorry for Junior Caminero. I thought he was going to win it. O'Neal Cruz was a sleeper for some, but who would have thought that they would have measured in nanometers or centimeters or whatever the hell they did that kept him out of there? You know, maybe
unbelievable.
Unbelievable. You know what? Actually, that can save to wrap in our conversation for the entire All-Star weekend, because I still think the All-Star week, I guess I should say, because not on the weekend, All-Star week for baseball is the best professional All-Star package out there right now. So before we get into that whole conversation, hit that like and subscribe button. And if you're new, also, if you want to be a channel member, click that join button. But I want to thank our current partner up there at Hollywood Casino Charlestown Races in
West Virginia. That was better. You know, already went from I would say we went from a D to like a C. So we're just, as the reps are going, we're getting better.
Yeah. So I want to talk and have this conversation about the MLB All-Star festivities and why I do believe it is the best of all the professional sports here. And again, I'll reiterate, if you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. But I want to explain why. Because you can look around the rest of the league, and look, we know football is king of content when it comes to professional sports in the U.S., right?
100%.
I think we can all agree.
Yeah, 100%.
So that is great. Their product for Pro Bowl is not. They've changed it around so significantly. The NBA has changed their product so significantly. I would say at one point, I could rival the NBA as being that game because of the slam dunk contest, the 3-point contest. And then when it was in its heyday, you had guys really competing out there to win to an extent. We've seen recently there's no defense being played. There's no product that's even assembles what you would want to see on a nightly basis when you go to watch your favorite team in the NBA. MLB, what I think is so great, as much as I can see in the comments here, and Mike, I know you're saying the Derby's played out. The Derby's changed, and it's not gonna be the same in my mind where you had 10 outs and you had to be calculated. And hell, some of those guys are juiced up, and the balls are probably juiced up, and they are launching those things. But last night, did you not see some super talented players and stars on a really fantastic stage, national stage, absolutely putting on a show? O'Neal Cruz, what, Zach? He had in the first round, his average distance for a home run was like 447 or something like that.
513 footer.
118 off the bat. And again, you could say the balls are juiced, but those balls were flying, and that's the physical talent that actually you've seen in games. O'Neal Cruz, I've played first base in AA when he's been playing. It's not fun when he squares up a ball in the dirt or a low liner right at you. It sucks.
Vinny Pasquantino, who was live tweeting the Derby, said the exact same thing. He said, for anyone curious, yes, it's terrifying playing first base when O'Neal Cruz is up. He's like, it is terrifying because you do not know what's happening. Like you could be nanoseconds away from 118, like you said, right at your shins. And you got to find a way, like you got to be ready. So
wear it.
Yeah. Home run derby. I think the only thing I would change is we got to get the camera angles better. Just because
I agree with that.
Like the only thing that I disliked about last night, and actually the ESPN2, the StatCast one with Kevin Brown and all them, looked fantastic. It looked like the much easier watch. I'm not going to say better watch, easier watch, just because it felt like it's nothing against any of the guys that were doing the Derby, the Kirchens, the Eduardo Perez's, any of them. It just was hard they were trying to cut between each pitch and home run. It felt like you couldn't breathe for a little bit. That's the only complaint I have, but overall, once we got to the final rounds, it felt like they figured that out, and it was back to being like, okay, this is the Derby. For your original question, It is the best All-Star game. I know people are talking about hockey. That wasn't I know people think that was the All-Star game.
So I want to clarify this. If the NHL scrapped their All-Star game altogether and said did the United Nations, right? Or
then without a doubt
the Four Nations.
Yeah.
Do you see that? The Four Nations?
Yeah.
That was electric.
I know. It was awesome. I thought it was so cool.
Right?
Yeah.
So like in that case, and that's exhibition.
Yeah.
But
absolutely.
But that's not deemed to me as being an All-Star game unless we see it consistently, right?
Yeah, they already said their All-Star game. I was actually just looking this up so that I could have it ready and official. So the NHL All-Star game isn't going anywhere. It only took a hiatus this season because of the Four Nations. But if they want to do Four Nations every year and that's their All-Star game, I'm very okay with handing them over.
I think everybody would rather have Four Nations over an All-Star game for the NHL 100%.
Without a doubt.
I honestly would if that was the case. I mean, I would say this. It's baseball, the World Baseball Classic going in the All-Star game time. I think anything that has countries represented brings a whole new level and pride to it.
I mean, it's totally different. You're getting all these people all over the country watching the Four Nations. You're not getting all these people watching the NHL All-Stars. You're watching, everyone wants to watch the Four Nations.
I mean, no, but that's to the exact point of the All-Star events. I think that people will still tune in to the MLB.
Yes.
Because at least I saw some tonight. Ohtani is going to be out there. Skeens, Judge, Scooble. Like, you're going to see the top pitchers go against the top talent, and you can't fake that, right? Like, you can't fake that matchup. And I think that's the part when it comes to the NBA, even the NHL, and as the All-Star game. Trying to even think about like those. The Pro Bowl is. I'm sorry,
Pro Bowl does not exist.
I can't watch it.
The Pro Bowl games. The only thing I'm tuning in for the Pro Bowl is if Nick Moore's there and
doing the long snapping. That's it.
I'll tune in for that. But that's the thing. I don't need to see, like, I love these, top athletes in the NFL. I do not ever question what NFL guys would be best in dodgeball. Like, that doesn't interest me. I'm not like, ooh, I got to see how these guys play in a dodgeball tournament. Like, I want to see the best of the best. And the Pro Bowl was fun in the early 2000s. We had Sean Taylor just wrecking punters. Like, when people cared,
that was a moment. Now, maybe not a moment that, forget the punter's name in that clip who just got absolutely wrecked.
Oh my gosh. Why am I blanking on it?
The Bills punter, though. Absolutely torched. But football, I just would rather them just get rid of any event later on. If they want to play dodgeball, that's fine. But that's to the point. Football's so physical. Why do people want to have an All-Star game? What?
Brian
Mormon. That's it. So when I look at this, truly, baseball, you have to go out there and throw. Those guys are going to go out there and throw. Why did Jacob Mizorowski get elected to the All-Star game after 25 innings and 5 starts? It was because he threw fuzz. Now, that's a whole different conversation, by the way, of should he have been elected to the All-Star game? And I think MLB needs to clean this up because was that the most deserving bid? Absolutely not, especially when 2 Phillies pitchers were having sub-3 ERAs. One of them had a sub-2, Zach, I think.
Yeah.
And wasn't in that consideration just because Miz is the hot topic and he throws allegedly a 97-mile-an-hour slider. I still think it's a cutter, but whatever the hell is, it's damn good. But 25 innings after 5 starts, I digress. But I don't think it's even close. I don't think it's even close when it comes to any other top all-star type festivity. And this is coming from a guy that loved the slam dunk contest growing up. I loved the slam dunk contest. I thought it was so damn cool. And I think the last great slam dunk contest, shout out Mac McClung for doing his thing and going out there and showing he's got some bunnies. But the Aaron Gordon versus Zach Levine, that was it. That was the last unbelievable spectacle. But back then, when the stars actually did it, people were more interested. Like Dwight Howard doing the Superman thing. That sticks out. Those moments stick out. And when the stars don't do the events and then they don't play the game hard in the All-Star game, why are you going to tune in? Right?
I also think the problem with the dunk contest, and I'll be honest, have we kind of reached the limit of what can be done? I think that's another issue. Is like I feel like at this point, the dunk contest is recreating big dunks for like you now see like they'll do the Vince Carter dunk and then they'll like take off a jersey and they're wearing a Vince Carter jersey. And like it's more tributes to past dunk contests. Like I don't like I've yet to see, I feel like over the past few years, I'm not gonna lie and say that I watch it or that I'm, tuned in, but you see the highlights. It's impossible to escape. I haven't seen a dunk over the past few years. I mean, it's the Mac McClung show. He gets brought up every year without hesitation. It's like just, all right, all-star games coming up. Mac McClung called up from the G League, and we're having him in the dunk contest. It's just that over and over. The stars don't do it, so you don't get that star power. Because let's be honest, whether they're doing different things or not, if this was LeBron, if these was like the top guys, now obviously LeBron at 40 is not going to do it, but if you had the top guys out there, the superstars, you get the Jason Tatums, you get those guys out there, I would tune in because I'm like, what are they going to do? Like, even if it's not the most insane dunks ever, I want to see which of these top all-stars can do these things, are competing. That's all what it's all about. And then you have like the all-star skills competition where I think it was Chris Paul and Victor Wembanyama this year tried to cheat it. And they found out you didn't have to complete any of the passes. You just had to make 3. So they just picked up the ball and were just trying to go as fast as possible, missed every. And it's like, it's just become sort of like a joke.
Well, and this is the other thing with baseball, right? So, and I know, Nate, you're a big, you're a big Caps guy. But it's different. We're in agreement. The 4 Nations, that's like the peak of things, but it's not the All-Star game.
Yeah.
Going to the NBA, honestly, I feel like I have more of the nostalgia of like video games of doing the 3-point shooting contest or doing like the dunk contest, right? I can't remember a time where there was multiple stars in an NBA dunk contest. Multiple. Like I can't even think on the top of my head. Can you? We're talking about Mac McClung. I think that's the other part. You're bringing up a guy that isn't deemed in this way to be an everyday NBA player, but he's a spectacular jumper, and we're going to showcase that. That like takes away the essence of the all-star feel. I don't know. That's just me personally, right? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Like when the home run derby, the other part, whether people like the changes or not, guess who's competed in it? Juan Soto, Stanton, Bryce Harper. When Bryce did it in Washington and won it, and even though they're changing the rules, like that shit was incredible. Matt Olson and the crowd's getting into it.
Yeah.
Matt Olson's also a really damn good player.
Yeah.
So like their stars are doing it. They're playing in the games. That is something I wish every other sport could do. Now, the only gaffe of this past week for the home run derby was the lack of a swing off. That is the most MLB of all the things I'm giving you a compliment on. That is atrocious.
So bad.
And I don't know, Nate, did you hear about this last night?
What happened last night?
So last night, big dumper, Cal Raleigh.
Yeah, Cal Raleigh,
Cal Raleigh, big dumper. Here we go. So big dumper and Brent Rooker, outfielder for the SAC, the Athletics, were tied for the amount of home runs.
Yeah,
the tiebreaker was supposed to be distance.
Yeah.
They both had the same distance. Or so we thought.
Right.
Until like nonchalantly, they said like over the broadcast very briefly, oh, actually, Cal Raleigh's ball went a hair further and it's over.
I did hear about that. That's
swing
insane.
off. Should have been a swing off. And actually, Brent Rooker talked about it. Zach, can we play that clip real quick?
Yep.
Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't. I know but we're both at 471 because that's obviously the number that they put up there. Maybe if they have it to the decimal point, they should display that during the Derby and not wait till everyone's done to bring out that information. That might be helpful.
He's right.
Yeah.
But I'll be honest, even if they have that information, I do not care. I could.
Why are we getting that? Of all things, why are we getting that technical?
He beat him by 0.01 feet. Like that
When have we ever measured that in baseball?
Never.
Is a strike by 0.01
and
centimeters?
And here's the thing.
What are you saying? You think it's rigged?
No. But we're saying, like, why of all the like usually like, oh, they're both 471, which they're probably not exactly 471 on the dot. It's rounded up or rounded down or whatever it is. But they're saying, oh, well, we actually measured this. It's a smidge further, but it's still 471, whatever the hell it was. It's like, give the people what they wanted. A big dumper, rooker, swing off, one swing to go.
But
you might have won your bet.
I'll take it even further. It is so stupid. Even I don't care if Cal Raleigh hit one 510 feet and Brent Rooker's furthest one was 410 feet. They both hit 17 home runs in the round. And the point of the home run derby is who can hit the most home runs. So naturally, in every other derby, like this is the thing, they set a precedent. Every other derby, tie, awesome, swing off. Tie, doesn't matter the round, swing off. And then they did it and pissed me off even more. Did you hear what they said the next round? They said, if we have a tie, we are going to a swing off. So the first round didn't matter for the swing off. But now suddenly, Cal Raleigh wins by 0.01 feet. But then if this happens later, we have to make sure we get the right, they're just both hitting home runs. Feet distance doesn't matter. Let them swing. We are here for entertainment. This isn't like we're not crowning.
I'm sorry. If the programming runs over 15 minutes,
give the people what they want.
What the hell are you watching after the derby ends?
Junior Caminero beat Byron Buxton in about a minute and 10 seconds because there's your time. You just got time back. All right. Awesome. There it is. It was so ridiculous for them to be like, hey, the whole point of this is who can hit the most home runs. And then two guys both hit 17 and they're like, oh, well, we got to go to measurement. We should have never done that. Then they're both at 471. If I'm baseball, I'm like, this is the greatest thing ever because we can be like, we never thought we'd have a swing off when we went to feet distance as a tiebreaker, but they both hit their longest 471, unprecedented, unheard of, can't believe this happened. We're going to a swing off because that's the only fair way to do this. People would have gone nuts.
Yeah.
People would have gone absolutely nuts being like, this is what we're talking about. This is the entertainment. For them to be like, we just gotta keep this rolling. It's like, we're here for the fun of it. Like, this is what's supposed to
make it. The fans came to see balls leave the ballpark. That they did. Yeah. The home run derby, they wanted to see a ball get launched to the freaking moon. Now, I did see a comment here about, in Trizzle, I see you go, they're not all the stars are in there. O'Neal Cruz only hitting 200. Well, he put on a show, right? And I'd make the argument if every single one of them, but Matt Olson is a star player. Cal Raleigh is an MVP player right now. Junior Caminero is a star on the Rays, just no one goes to watch the Tampa Bay Rays play at Steinbrenner Field, which apparently they're having their playoff games there if they make it.
I saw that. We can have a conversation about that.
So they had good players in there. Brent Rooker, all-star. Brent Rooker, 2 years in a row, just hitting jacks left and right in the regular season. So they had good players. Just throwing that out there. Ronald Acuna Jr. with backing out of it, that's fine. Whatever. Byron Buxton, is a dog. That dude, a little memory lane, one of the most talented players I played against. Actually, Byron Buxton and Matt Olson, guys, I played against them in the Under Armour All-American game going into my senior year. We're all the same draft class. Byron Buxton, there is not a damn thing he couldn't do. So toolsy. He just has trouble staying healthy. And then Matt Olson's just an absolute donkey. That dude is just a beast.
And actually,
he's big.
I should have brought this up, but because we're talking Byron Buxton now, did you see Byron Buxton talk about the trade stuff?
No.
This is maybe moved him into my top 5 players of all time. They asked him about, hey, Twins sitting around 500. Maybe you could get moved. Like, would you be, what are teams or something that you would like to go? And he said, I'll find the clip, goes, I'm not getting traded. I have a no trade clause. I'm a Minnesota Twin for life. That's the guy I want leading my team. They're trying to get him to go, oh, well, I would like to go compete on, this. I got no trade clause. I'm not getting traded. I know that for sure. I'm staying in Minnesota to finish my career here. This is where they want me. This is where I'm staying. That's a guy. If I was a Minnesota fan and I saw that, I would probably have every Byron Buxton jersey I could get my hands on.
Oh, he's a beast, man. I like how they also, because he does look like he's a lot older because of the facial hair and the beard, and they call him Unk, right? But I think he's a year younger than me or the same age. But I love that, man. I love that he loves Minnesota. You know what? Actually, waive the no trade clause. Come to Baltimore. Come to Baltimore so Zach can get a Byron Buxton Orioles jersey. That's not going to happen. We'll get one for Nate. We'll get him a double XL for your size, Nate.
Great. Oh, no, I think you need something bigger.
Yeah, triple.
We'll see. I usually wear custom sizes, so
extra tall.
I don't know. Yeah. We gotta do the biggest, tallest size possible.
Extra tall. You doing all right over there? You hanging in?
I'm hanging in there. Again, first time doing all this.
We're trying not to send you too much. I'm not trying to set you up for success or failure.
No, it's all good. I've still stumbled that I didn't know that Kyle Hamilton was from Notre Dame.
Yeah, no, people won't forget that one. People won't forget that.
The chat was going.
The chat was going crazy over that.
Yep.
I don't know everything. I don't know a ton, and that shows that right there.
That's okay. Humility. Okay. If you just say, I messed up.
No, it's okay. We'll learn from here.
We learn from here. Post-game press conference. That's what we do in here. Post-game, I got to be better.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm only as good as my next play.
Right.
And hopefully if I get the opportunity, it's going to work out and I'm going to take advantage of it. Right. That's how we talk in the post game, Nate.
Yeah.
Speaking about you hope for a better opportunity, Zach, we did want to talk about this. This is off baseball, but it's sports media related since we're all talking media. The news that Fox Sports just canned 3 of their shows, right? The Facility, Speak, and I'm blanking on the other one, but names like Emmanuel Acho, Joy Taylor,
LaShawn McCoy,
Michael Irvin, Chase Daniel,
Paul Pierce.
The list goes on. A lot of names are canceled. And not that they are canceled as people, the shows are canceled. But it makes you think about where media is going and what they're trying to do and where they want to maybe allocate their resources. There's reports out there, Zach, you're saying that Fox is looking at maybe Kay Adams.
Yeah, according to actually friends of the program over at Front Office Sports. Sources tell Front Office Sports that on-air talents who could be in play for new FS1 shows could be Tony Rowley from Around the Horn, which just finished up, and then Max Kellerman and Kay Adams. So those are 3 names potentially to look out for. This is Emmanuel Acho. He tweeted it out. He said, in football, you don't perform, you get cut. In media, you don't perform, you get cut. So very open about his situation. And I will say this. I don't think a Ravens fan was upset about Emmanuel Acho having less airtime. I saw a lot of celebratory tweets over that, which is, about his comments on Lamar Jackson throughout the years. But it is one of those things. It's sports media. We talk about it all the time. It's just like sports. You got to produce. You got to be able to, show up and get the job done, or it's an industry that, they'll get rid of you.
Well, this is what I try to relate to the sports world when you play to whatever job that you do. Sometimes there's too many options. We just talked about Kyle Stowers earlier, right? Where they go, we have too many employees that do the same thing. In our opinion, we got to make a choice, and we're going to bring someone in that can do something else, right? That can fit a need that we need for our company. Or in this case, well, you didn't do as well as we thought. Let's brought up Ryan O'Hearn. Ryan, we don't see it working out with you in Kansas City. We're going to get rid of you. And the Orioles said, okay, well, we'll take him, and gave him a job, and the rest was history there, right? So the sports, you get fired. Business, you get fired. You don't produce, you don't go out there and do your damn thing. Or companies just have their own reasons. Like, it's just the reality of it. That's the business. Nate, you're just getting into all that in your life. But
I was gonna say the thing about sports media is that there's so many people that want to work in sports. There's so many people that want to build these skills of becoming involved in the team behind the scenes that it's so easy to replace somebody. You know, if you're not putting in full performance, they can be like, you know what, we got 20, 30 other guys that want to do the same thing that you do.
Yeah.
We're just going to bring the next guy up.
And
so
then
you have to show your best performance every second of the day.
And it might not even be that your performances are that you did anything wrong. Being a hard worker in this industry also doesn't mean that you're going to be given success. It's what makes you stand out, what brings attention, what attracts eyes. Now, I do think one situation that traditional media is continuing to try to figure out here is how do they, and what's becoming an ever-growing media landscape, is how do you stay true to what you want to stay true to? And so ESPN's been going through that, right? Paid a bunch of money to have Pat McAfee involved, which Pat still has his own entity with the show, but he's in partnership with ESPN. Stephen A. Smith, but then they don't cover a lot of baseball. Like they still don't have a deal for Major League Baseball next year, ESPN. Now, apparently, they've gone back to the discussions. But for Fox, what's Fox and ESPN and all these big networks, what's the main thing that they have? They have football. They have college football, and they have the National Football League. And since they have the rights to those games, they're always going to be okay. But for coverage-wise, I think that was the other part is, what style do you want to have? And I think that that's where it might have become, I don't want to say consistently stale, because I think that those guys are talented. Like, I think Acho's a talented guy. Not that I agree with him on a lot. And I mean, there's a lot of things I don't agree with him on, but right? But clearly that's not what Fox was thinking would be the best for their company moving forward. And then there's someone, if Kay Adams is true, she's been on the up and up. That's literally the name of her show, Up and Adams, yeah. Right? But the interactions, the interviews, the style, now that'd be going in a different direction, but you're wondering, a lot of these companies are trying to figure out, how do we continue to evolve? Because right now, if you guys want to talk Orioles and you like us, then you might just search Ryan Ripken show, Orioles, or give me Orioles draft recap, whatever pops up. The big names will always have that, but they don't have the autonomy that they once had.
I just wonder, and if I'm being just, I know nothing about why the decision was made or anything, but I do wonder if it had any impact that, I'm going to be honest, I don't think I've seen a single post, clip, anything from the facility, from Speak, any of these. And it, like, they got eyes. They got eyes on them.
Got a ton of eyes.
I never saw one, and it wasn't met with just backlash from everyone. It almost felt like they became known as the clickbait, the hot take show. It wasn't really, thought out, things. It was, oh, Lamar Jackson's outside of the top 10 quarterbacks. And you're like, oh, okay, like that just doesn't make sense. Like, or it's, this player actually stinks. And you're like, he actually is the league leader in this, oh, this guy, and it's stuff where you look at that and you're like, oh, Joe Burrow's the reason the Bengals are losing. And it's like, what was their defense? Like, why are you putting that in? Like, it just felt like no matter what it was about, I always found myself looking at them and I was like, this just seems clickbait. Like, this seems hot takey. And it wasn't necessarily thought out and like, oh, he makes some points in it. It felt like a lot of people trying to yell the hottest take. I wonder if that had any impact on the decision, because these guys that they're talking about, the Kay Adams, the Max Kellermans and stuff, they're more, I feel like, while they can have their takes, they're more, I'm going to tell you what's going on.
They're more conversationalists when it comes to that. That's really what it comes down to. I don't personally consider myself a hot take guy. I think you've known me. I like to just kind of say how I think it is. I try to relate our audience to what we talk about. So if you don't understand, like, hence, why does Mike Elias make certain picks? Well, let me explain why he does this. And do I fully agree with it? I'll give you a reason, right? if I'm passionate about certain teams or I've seen it, I'll talk about it. But to make like declarations, that's something I'm just like, when we're talking about professional athletes and they're going out there and they're busting their ass and they don't do some things well. Yeah, you can also be critical without going over the top and being so like ridiculous. Like one of my favorite, and shout out Dean Kramer, which Dean, need you to come, cook on the show here, by the way. You can't have an Instagram account, Dean, and not come cook on the show. Just throwing that out there. So, hey, I'll see you when you get back from your road trip. But with a guy like Dino, I want to be able to, if I was going to tell you to your face, Nate, like, Nate, you know what? I don't think you're actually very tall. I would tell that to your face, right? It's like that's how it is. Like, and for Zach,
I've never been told that before, though.
I know. So but I got to be honest with you, right?
Yeah.
I got no problem if I say to Dean, when you're on, man, I think that you have a high ceiling, which I do think he does. But what gets Dean in trouble is consistency. And when he hangs a cutter or a curveball right over the dish and it goes big ball, you go, damn, dude. It's the location of your pitches. I'd rather when we tell you something on here, I don't have to talk about it later where someone approaches me and goes, dude, what the hell was that take? It's not my style. If you disagree with me, that's fine. But I don't want to be the one, like I can't sit here and go, Lamar Jackson is not talented enough to get over the hump. Like, okay, no. Lamar has his things. Let's heal Cinnamon. Yeah. You don't have to like Joe Burrow and the Bengals. Joe Burrow's a good quarterback, right? Like, You don't have to like the Yankees. Aaron Judge, he can't play in the postseason. Let's calm down. Aaron Judge is still one of the best players in the generation. He could stop tomorrow and he's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Mm-hmm. Like, let's heal Cinnamon on this a little bit.
Yeah, and actually, funny enough, Marlon Humphrey talked about this a few days ago, and I thought he made some great points. He said he doesn't get upset about media anymore. He doesn't let it get to him because he said he figured out eventually, he's like, none of it's personal. It's their job. He was like, yeah, maybe some of it is, quote unquote, they're hating. They're saying you're not doing this, but he's like, it's what they're paid to do. It's their job to talk about this stuff. It's not like they're just randomly going out and hating on you. It's their job. And he literally said the only thing that genuinely bothers him about media stuff, he's like, it's not, them critiquing play or them doing this stuff. He's like, the only thing that gets to him is when they question and say Lamar Jackson isn't a leader, because he's like, that's just completely false. He's like, if you want to say, they underperformed in this game, he's like, it's your job to talk about. He's like, there's just few things where he's like, nope, that's wrong. So, and that was the big one. And then he even made the joke. He's like, yeah, no, when I finish up, I plan on being in media. And he goes, so I'm going to need to put out a PSA to all my fellow athletes that none of it's personal and it's not just my job. So, but that is it. You're going to have the quote unquote hot takes. You have to talk about the negatives, the goods, the bads, all of that. But, it seems like, especially with Fox towards the end, it felt like it was just, how can we get outrageous clicks? And that's just kind of where they found.
But you know what it did? It did. The one thing I'll give credit to, especially, is it did draw conversations from a lot of other people. So I'm just curious was it that much where they weren't getting the value or they want to head in a different direction? You got to find some way to stick out. You got to peacock sometimes, Nate. You know what peacocking is?
I know the streaming service Peacock.
Yeah. Well, that's good. But like peacocking's kind of like what I'm doing right now. You wear something, you put something on that kind of makes you
it's eye
popping.
I was wondering what you were doing. I was sitting there being like, what's going on here?
I mean, I'm a peacock captain. You gotta let me fly.
Yeah.
No way. If Zach can't guess that movie, there's no way that Nate would have any idea.
Nope, but
because
Uncle Andy Billy's in here. So you know what I'm taking, because this is what I'm doing. It's the associated property. Actually, I guess for us it would be, since we look identical, I'm taking this as I got the reference.
No, that's not how this works.
How it works. Mustaches stick together. So because Uncle Andy Billy got it, I'm off the hook.
Chris got it right there.
Other guys knew it. So
like Nate, there's a stretch of movies that I like to recite on here, like just quotes. I'm a big movie quote guy. So that was the other guys. Have you seen it? No, you haven't.
No,
he might have not been born yet. Zach, 2010 for Nate.
2010.
I'm just kidding.
All right,
I'm just
all right,
kidding.
all right.
Kind of though. Kind of. Our 2000s kids in the studio.
Guys, I'm 2005. Okay, 2005.
Wow. Damn.
All right.
Do you feel old now, Zach?
Yeah, Nate's one of the few people that can come on here and make me feel old. Usually,
I'm 20.
Nate. Yeah, I'm 25. Usually, I'm the young guy here, and everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, 2005 and 2000 and it's a compound sentence." It's my favorite video.
Goodness.
And it's a compound sentence. 2000 and.
You guys kill me. But yes, I'm a 90s baby. You might be from the 70s, Zach, but I'm a 90s bitch.
I was gonna say.
I love it.
I don't care.
That I love it. I don't care. And they
crash my car into
the bridge. Yeah. See, iconic. No way. Nate knows.
Actually, you know what? That's been played at enough parties. I'm sure.
Care. That song?
Yeah.
Dude, I know that song. That song's not that old.
Yeah, I was gonna say that came out.
That song came out in what? 2013?
No, it might have come out when you were born.
No.
No,
That song's
it
not
was
that
like
old.
So we were 7 or 8 years old.
Yeah.
I'll give it to him. It was 2012.
2012. I was in first grade. I was going into second grade.
Isn't that when you graduated high school?
2012. Yeah.
Dude,
damn.
But like that song was made for like kids my age. Like
no, it wasn't.
Like yes, it was. I heard it on the radio.
You think that song was made for you?
It was made for like kids.
Have you heard okay, that's like me saying I thought Confessions Part 2 by Usher was made for me because I was a kid.
I heard it every day. I swear to God, I heard that song.
And I'm singing
you heard
every
it
damn day.
doesn't mean
I heard it every day on the radio. I mean, I heard it. People would play it in school. Like, there's a clean version, and that clean version was more popular than the explicit version.
That's.
I see what you're talking about. Like, yes, I'm sure it was played. I don't know if she was thinking first graders were her target audience at the time. But that was good.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think when I crashed my car into the bridge.
Well, when I was a kid,
you know what? I'm gonna look up those lyrics now that we're
okay.
And if you're new to the channel, hit the like and subscribe button. We do talk everything, so we're in our little pop culture moment here as we're going off on a little bit of a rant. But we talk a lot of baseball here. We talk some football, and we talk pop culture.
This is where I thrive in. All right. This is something that I can jump into the conversation for. And I'll tell you right now, when I was 7 years old, when that song came out, I heard that song all the time. I didn't care what the lyrics were. It was just a great song to me because I was 7. All right.
So I really have. So actually,
Zach's having a field day over here.
Let's
me telling him about
that.
It was like I'm telling you, I heard that song all the time.
I think this is definitely made for 7-year-olds. So let me play. I'll play the lyrics. I'll sing the lyrics here. I'll say them. And I quote, I got this feeling on the summer day when you were gone. I crashed my car into the bridge. I watched, I let it burn.
It didn't like the lyrics.
I threw your shit into a bag and pushed it down the stairs. I crashed my car into a bridge. I don't care.
The thing is, the lyrics, like, it didn't matter to me, these lyrics. I was just having fun with the song. It's like a fun song.
In first grade, did you consider yourself a 90s bitch? Because that's
Or are you from the 70s?
You're from the 70s, but I'm a 90s
My parents
bitch.
are from the 70s, so close enough, right?
You're so damn hard to please. We got to kill this switch. I mean, honestly, maybe some kid stole your chocolate milk or
maybe
something.
Stole your switch. Maybe you stole your
It didn't
switch.
I didn't put the lyrics together. I was just like, oh, this is a catchy song, Putting on my little backpack at my lunchbox going to school. Didn't matter to me.
Yeah. Yeah. The other one, though, like Confessions Part 2, I would sing that as a kid. And that's, you know what that song's about?
No, I don't. And I might have heard the song and not even know what it's about.
I'm an Usher baby. I was a big Usher fan growing up.
Okay.
I can tell you wholeheartedly it was not meant for Ryan as a 7-year-old.
Okay.
Because he's confessing that he had relations with another woman while he was dating his main woman. And if that doesn't scream 7 and up. I don't know
Wait.
what does.
Someone in the chat said Linkin Park. I do know songs by Linkin Park. My dad plays songs by Linkin Park. If my dad's still tuned in, he'll probably tell you that I've heard Linkin Park songs. I know him. I know Linkin Park. So,
can you name one Linkin Park song?
Hold on. It's called In the End. In the End by Linkin Park.
That is correct.
Yeah, there you go. That's one Linkin Park song that I know, and I can promise it. Just like I can promise my height to you, I can promise you I know Linkin Park.
Some people in the chat wanted us to quiz you on some other things too.
I know. I've been reading. I've been reading in the chat.
We see some things. Do you want to just nip that in the bud right now? Do you want to name 5?
Name 5 Orioles players?
Yeah.
All right. Ryan O'Hearn, Gunnar Henderson, Jackson Holiday, Kobe Cowser.
Yep. It's 2 different people here.
Yeah, I just named Kobe Mayo then Colton Cowser. There you go. 5 people. I got nervous, so I got
Kobe
I got
Cowser
nervous, so I messed up the names. I promise I know 5 Orioles players. I go to Orioles games all the time. I promise I know these players.
He got very nervous. Very nervous. But hey, your first time doing this.
This was my first time doing this. I going into this, I wasn't even expected to hop on the show. I was just offered by Ryan when I was coming, and I said, sure. You know what?
I feel like if you're in the studio, it's just kind of a free for all what can happen. So that's why you're coming here. We're getting to talk more, and then you just found yourself hopping on an episode of the Ryan Ripken Show. That's just what we do. Yeah. And then we take it mobile at times, and then we just bring it around town. Then we take it to the Papa Shot. Then we sometimes take it to the window, and sometimes we take it to the wall.
To the wall.
Yeah.
And sometimes we take it till sweat drops.
Listen,
down
I'm not going to lie.
Button.
To the subscribe button.
I'm not going to lie. I had an amazing time on this show. I didn't know what to expect, and I expected the best of the best. This was awesome.
We try.
Yeah.
We do try. We try to have a good time in here.
This is fun. Hopefully one day I get to come back on here.
Hey, and we're going to have to quiz you on where Kyle Hamilton went to school.
I'm gonna start doing my research the second I'm out of this studio.
Yeah.
I promise.
You're going to know.
School may be out, but you have homework.
You're going to find out everything.
I'm going to know everything sports. Baltimore sports. Everything.
Everything. Man, we can't put him into a push-up test right now. That's too diabolical.
Trizzle loves a good.
He loves a good push-up test. We do
push-up
have some
test. Whoa, I don't know about that one.
We do a Papa Shot fitness challenge brought to you by our friends at Merit Clubs. So it's not just a push-up challenge. We would spin this wheel here.
Yeah,
and we would have our audience members vote on they would give ideas, and then we'd spin it, and then whoever lost the Papa Shot would have to do whatever the wheel says. 40 split squats.
That's our wheel.
That's our wheel.
We treasure it, cherish it,
and we treasure each and every one of you. So if you hit that like and subscribe button, appreciate it. And also for our channel members, you guys make this thing go. We appreciate each and every one of you. We might be doing a Rip After Dark tonight. That's only for channel members. Rocco, I know, has been frisky to hop back on, and that's where we get a little bit more off the rails and still have some more in-depth conversations, but we can kind of take you behind the scenes of the day-to-day, not just what we do here on the Ryan Ripken Show, where we talk ball and then maybe get a little bit off topic, which who knows? There are some similarities, but Zach knows that some of the Rip After Darks, which before they were branded Rip After Darks,
they were just stories I heard in here.
You heard in here or did not hear in here?
Stories I heard in here.
Oh.
The Rip After Dark stories.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, before they had a name of Rip After Dark, it was just Ryan's stories after the show. So it's evolved.
It's evolved, and there's some things I can't say. But what I can say is tomorrow we're going to have Kyle and the Iron Rooster back. It's actually restaurant week down in College Park, I believe, next week. So we're going to hear about what's going on down there. We're obviously going to eat good because that's what Kyle lets us do. We do have some guests that are in the works, but with the All-Star festivities, we're going to see how that's all going to align. And then here we are. We are approaching that time where baseball is going to be back for this second half, so to speak, even though it's really only 2 months. And then training camp is kicking off for a lot of NFL teams here in just about the next week or two. So it is going to be fun. I am hoping And I'm hoping and I'm hoping and I'm hoping that it's all going to work out for.
Ryan, what's your prediction for Ryan O'Hearn tonight? I'm assuming he gets one plate appearance.
Yeah. Well, who's the other DH? Or I guess they could throw anybody in there.
Yeah, I think All-Star game.
I hope they give him 2, but realistically, probably 1.
Because he's batting where? 6th,
5th or
7th?
6th? 6th.
I think 6th.
I would love a Ryan O'Hearn big ball. I would love it. And then you can't trade him. Like the rule is if you go deep in the All-Star game, you can't trade the player.
Yeah.
Cannot.
So okay, can I say something? This is when I was a child, I used to get really worried that an Oriole was going to hit a home run because genuinely my thought process was, but they could have done that in a game that counted. So like they would get up and I'd be like, please fly out. I would be like, don't waste a hit in the All-Star game. So I would be actively like, just go have fun. It's like, don't hit a homer. If you got a single, whatever. But if they hit a home run, I was like, no, that was one they could have used in the real season. Now, mind you, at the time, I wasn't taking into consideration that we hadn't had a winning season in probably 13 years at that point. But the sentiment remained the same. I was so nervous as a child that the Orioles that did well in the All-Star game, they wasted a good game on the All-Star game.
Dude, I was thinking about the All-Star festivities. I told someone about this the other day. I have a photo of 2001. I think I'm sitting in Brett Boone's lap for the home run derby.
Really?
Yeah, but I did think the same thing. Actually, my dad's last year, he did hit a home run and won the MVP of it. He did.
Wasted it.
He did. Could have been one more game the team could have won.
Yeah.
One more game from being eliminated.
Wow. And I bet that homer would have been the difference. They would have changed the franchise. They would have never gone on those losing seasons had he just saved it. It's truly incredible.
They might have, they're saying, the Orioles might have rewritten the history books. We might not be where we are today if it wasn't for that. But I digress. Okay. I think did we hit all of our topics? Was there anything else you want to talk about?
No, I think
oh, that's right. I did say that on Gary Williams Stole My Lawn Furniture. I did say that last night. I couldn't tell with Brooks because he was on his 8th tequila shot.
Did you hop on for the derby?
I hopped on for a second or more than a second. It's probably like 20 minutes, 25 minutes. Hanging out and reminiscing a little bit, watching Junior fall short, which I think that was another bet by some. But yes, that's where I did say it last night.
Oh, that's what I was going to say real fast. Has there ever been a more obvious kid that ESPN is never going to let us forget about, like moment ESPN will never let us forget about, when inevitably Cal Raleigh's 15-year-old brother who caught the home run derby makes it to the pros and wins the home run derby as well? Like you can just, like you remember the Vlad, times where it's like, oh, here's Vlad competing in the home run derby and him being his dad's, but you can just kind of get that vibe from him. And also he's 15, goes back to, I would assume, sophomore, junior year in high school. There is nobody in the class icebreakers who's beating hey, what did you guys do this summer? Name one cool thing you did this summer. Caught for my brother as he won the Major League Baseball home run derby and became the star of it because they couldn't stop talking about his leadership during it. So like, one, if you're the coach for that high school team, you better know you have something special there, at least behind the plate. And yeah, I think I'd feel pretty cool walking in the first day of school next year. That's for sure.
Yeah, damn right. I know we're wrapping up and we didn't get into some of our awards. Maybe we can save it going into this next week because they're not going to be playing until
we got time.
Friday, they're back in. The Rays are playing the O's down in Tampa Bay. And then the Padres are coming, the San Diego Sheets coming to play the Nats. How about that?
Gavin Sheets won. Why is he not an all-star? They rigged. Also, too, I'm just going to say it. We wouldn't have needed a swing off because Gavin Sheets would have hit 30 in the first round.
He would have.
No question about it. That's why they didn't let him in. They had to let everyone else
competition,
compete. They had to let it be a competition. If Gavin Sheets walks in there, it's 40 first round, 40 second round, 40 final. And then everyone's just waiting around by the end of the first round just to hand him the title. You know, it's good for the sport that they didn't let him ruin it by winning it so easily.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You know, the other one I realized, because we got often going on Nate's height and, you know, him understanding his song choices. Well, I forgot that Rob Manfred made a really, really direct comment at the Pirates.
You want to talk about it real
I
quick?
kind of do real quickly. And Nate, if you got to go at any time, don't let us hold you up. We have to finish this conversation.
No, you're good. Go for it, man.
Good.
Yeah.
Man, Nate is really tall. He is very tall over
I had
there.
to duck my head when I was coming in.
Yeah, I was going to say 6'10" is what some talk about. But you know what people are talking about, or that people are starting to take a closer look, and that's the situation around the Pittsburgh Pirates. And the reason I bring this up is because fans in Pittsburgh have been really at the forefront of wanting a change with their organization because they think they deserve better. And the commissioner of Major League Baseball had a very direct comment when it came to ownership in the direction of which the Pittsburgh Pirates is going. And once again, if you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. The Ryan Ripken Show, we do this live every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday right here on YouTube, X, and Facebook. But Zach, let's play that clip of Rob Manfred was on the Pat McAfee Show just yesterday and was talking about, well, Pittsburgh Pirates have a serious problem that needs to get addressed.
Baseball fan strictly because I wasn't a Pirates fan.
Right.
And the reason why I wasn't a Pirates fan is because the Pirates were just a team that you go down to the ballpark and have a good time.
Right.
You never expected them to actually win. And it's like, I think at this stage, especially with the sell the team chance and everything, you say it's the system's fault. It's like, it'd be good for the league for every team to be competitive, right? Is that what you're selling is whenever it's like we're trying to get that?
100%.
For the good of the game, brother. Because I think I would have been a good baseball fan and probably player.
Would have been a good player.
But just stayed away from it strictly because my dad was like, nope, we're not doing it, and we're not getting into it because of the Pirates experience. Not saying it's just the Pirates. There's other teams that feel this way as well.
100%.
But it's good for the sport, I think, right?
Oh, you're right on the money, Pat. I mean, exactly right. The fact of the matter is, Pittsburgh's a great sports town.
Great.
It is a great sports town. There are tons and tons of really passionate Pirates fans who remember when the Pirates were a great team year in, year out. And they just want to look at the system and say, we got a fair chance to win when you're sitting around in February looking at, spring training and what the year's going to be like. And we need to deal with that issue.
Okay, well, we appreciate you. We assume you will for the good of all Yinzers.
So at the end, right there, saying we need to deal with this issue. And look, the way it was spoken by Pat and then even Rob Manfred saying like, nail on the head. Now I want to at least preface the conversation around they're saying with smaller market teams and the salary cap situation, teams aren't spending money and that hurts the product, that hurts the teams. But this was more directed at just Pittsburgh, a team and an organization that for decades, going way back, was a proud baseball town. Still is, but the product on the field could replicate that of a world champion because that's what they could play up to. Zach, that's not what's been the case. You've seen a lot of fans talk about the overall experience in Pittsburgh has been mismanaged from a fan experience standpoint to the product on the field standpoint to being stuck in the mud, it feels like, for years. Mm-hmm. And right now they have the game's most electrifying pitcher in Paul Skeens. You have other top pitching prospects and guys on your roster that are talented, and yet they really haven't spent money. People want to complain about other organizations. They have not spent money. The team hasn't won games, and fans are extremely frustrated because they don't see the hope that's going on there. And on top of this, it really is a sports town. as much as people, especially from the Baltimore region, want to talk about Pittsburgh and look down on them, Pittsburgh loves their sports. The problem is the two teams that they have there, the Penguins and the Steelers, are consistent for the most part. Yeah. The team that hasn't been has been the Pirates, and it's really at the expense of their very loyal fan base, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, people think that the Orioles don't spend. Orioles payroll right now is 167 million, and the Pirates is 89 million. So the Orioles are just below double what the Pirates are paying guys. And it is one of those things where it is the Pirates have these young stars. I mean, yeah, Zoniel Cruz is batting like 220. If you watch him, I'm going to be honest, it's his probably mental more than anything. Physically, he can do anything. It's whether, between the ears, he figures it out. Paul Skeens, I mean, generational. This is a guy who showed up and has been everything. I mean, the biggest fault he has is he's on the Pittsburgh Pirates because he'll pitch 8 innings of 1-run ball and lose 1-0. Like, that's the unfortunate spot of where he's in. But it does beg the question, like we're talking about, of would a salary cap fix this? There are some teams, and I'm going to use the Pirates for example. A salary floor would do more for the sport in this sense, because if you say, hey, you can't spend, more than 300 million, more than 250 million, whatever it may be, the Pirates are still spending 87, no matter what other teams are capped at. It also comes down to the owners. And like you said, like, it's a very loyal fan base that's getting taken advantage of because their owner doesn't want to spend and is very open about being like, hey, I don't want to spend on players. I don't want to spend on this. And it's sad. I can't believe I'm saying it. I'm sad for Pittsburgh fans, but I am, because it's like they have this talent. They have these opportunities to build on. You talked about the young core. Hell, if once you get Jared Jones back, you got Skeens, Jones, Keller, and then Bailey Falter. That's a very solid 1 through 4. That 1 through 4 can be put up with pretty much anyone in the top 12, I would say, of Major League Baseball. And you're like, okay, that checks out. Then you had guys like Brian Reynolds, who has seen no success team-wise over his very nice career. You see guys like Andrew McCutchen, who came back, won a few games, few seasons when he was there throughout, but not much to show for. They have guys, and it's like they don't care to go forward. There's no sense of urgency to go forward. I know people want to talk about, oh, well, yeah, Michael Elias and the Orioles, they have no sense of urgency. I watched Michael Elias trade for Corbin Burns. You could not. You know what the last big trade the Pirates made? Trading away Garrett Cole, trading away their top guys.
Yeah. The reality for Pittsburgh is that there are a lot more questions that are leading to stress more than you can argue any team. And I'm glad you mentioned in that point. People can be upset for what's happened this year with Baltimore, and I understand if you feel this opportunity wasn't there. Or maybe it could have been there. But the Orioles did have 3 straight winning seasons, 22, 23, 24. The Pirates, their biggest achievement recently is that they got Paul Skeens and he pitched in the All-Star game. That's an individual award, but that is their highest achievement that they are holding on to right now. And when Rob Manfred, when they're talking about the salary cap, which I do understand, if you make this decision, could it definitely help some of the smaller market teams? Of course. Of course it could help, but you got to do it right. And I talked about that last week. I think you need to have a salary floor if you're willing to do a salary cap.
Yeah.
Because you can't say, well, we got to cap the ones that are willing to spend. Well, you got to spend at least something to at least have that discussion, because no way in hell players are going to want to agree to that if they don't see that the urge of every MLB team is going to go out there and try to make something happen. So it's an ongoing discussion. And if you've been following the Pirate situation for a long time, you can understand where that comes from. And a lot of the conversations recently, when you've heard about the Pirates, it's about who are they trading next, Zach, like you said. not about when they are going to be a team that's going to contend to win the NL Central and maybe be back to being considered one of the best teams in baseball, which they were, but that was decades ago.
And just final point, do you know the Pittsburgh Pirates over the last 10 years have spent over $100 million on the payroll one time, a singular time? It was 2017, and I almost think this was a mistake because their payroll was 100.5 thousand.
Can we get to close it out? Can we get the entire payroll up
for 2025?
Yeah.
Yeah. You want me to post it in the
Yeah, if you can, or we can
No, I'm screen sharing.
Screen share it on there. 3, 2, 1, lift off.
Actually, we can have this. ESPN bet.
Yeah. Nate wave.
Oh, hit them.
That's okay. Nate's just there. He's hanging. So if we're looking at that and you're looking at the top, the correlation, teams that do well, they're spending some dough, right? I get that. But those are a lot of top market teams, which makes sense. Let's scroll down a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, you go towards the middle, and the Orioles are at 19, so there's a massive jump between the Pirates and the Orioles when you go into. Actually, I just am now saying this. This is not. I don't think this is. And now we're in order of.
There we go. Total payroll. There we go.
Because the Orioles are 15.
Yeah.
Orioles are 15, and then let's go below that. So here's the bottom 15.
And the 4 teams at the bottom: Pittsburgh, Chicago, the Athletics, and Miami. Now, Tampa's low to that, but you have to have a culture set that we talked about. They win. They still win. You can say, well, Ryan, they're not winning World Series. They win. They still win games. They are still one of the few teams that can say they've been to 2 World Series in the last 17 years. There's not a lot of teams that can say that. They are one of those teams. And then Cleveland. They like to do Guardians ball. Milwaukee plays a certain style. But a lot of those other teams, they're still trying to find their way. But for Pittsburgh, man, for your fans' sake, go in a direction that they can give them hope, not just showing them that they have one of the top pitchers that you might be losing here in the next 3 to 4 years. Yeah. But I digress. If you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. Ryan Ripken Show. Do it live every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, right here, YouTube, X, and Facebook. Now I think we got everything wrapped up. Now we got it out of our system.
We did, and real fast, Joe. Appreciate it. 15
months. Joe's at 15 months as a member.
15 month subscription. Unreal.
Nate, you hear that?
15
months is crazy. There you go.
You know that song by Gwen Stefani? This shit is bananas. BANANAS. He doesn't know.
No.
That's one at least that he knows. That one might be before 2012. That's Gwen Stefani.
Gwen Stefani.
Well, for our channel members, hope we see you later on. We're planning to do a Rip After Dark, so hit that join button if you want to be a channel member. And thank you. This helps us continue to grow. That's what we're trying to do here, and it's because of our strong community that we're able to do this. Later in the week, again, Iron Rooster, going to have them tomorrow, cooking it up with Kyle here. We will have some more events coming up Thursday, and we are getting our extensive guest list put into place. I think that's all I got.
Yep.
Zach? That it? I haven't heard this music in a while. As always, here on the Ryan Ripken Show, we appreciate each and every one of you. Have a day, have a night, have a great stinking rest of your Tuesdays. And get some rest and come back and see us tomorrow for a brand new edition of the Ryan Ripken Show.